welcome to Talking with Fitness People. We've had a suggestion for a topic which is psychedelics, psychedelic drugs. Psychedelics are going to include your LSD, your mushrooms, your peyote, your DMT. Possibly could be considered ecstasy in that mix. I don't consider it a psychedelic. And some people even go so far as to say marijuana is a psychedelic. So, for my purposes though, we're talking about 3 drugs that I'm familiar with, or 4 that I'm familiar with, but 2 that I've actually done. I've done acid, I've done mushrooms, I've not done peyote, I've not done mescaline. I think mescaline and peyote are basically the same thing. And my take on psychedelics, real quick, before we open to everybody's comments, is I don't believe they open any doors of perception. I don't believe you really learn anything from them. I think that they're kind of fun. I like mushrooms. I'd still take mushrooms if I could get some, you know. If mushrooms were handed to me, I'd eat them for sure. But I would never take acid. In fact, it was offered to me, and I turned it down. I don't want acid because it's too hardcore. Regardless, I don't see them as teaching tools or spiritual openers or anything like that. They're just fucking drugs, although they do have some psychological impact in the short term. Like, after I take mushrooms, I'm happier for a couple of days. And that's my thoughts on psychedelics. Let's open it up.
Six, you brought up the topic. You want to start?
You go, Yubi.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, I've done a few. I'd have to say shrooms are definitely my favorite. As far as the whole, yeah, I mean, I don't think, in one sense, I think that they can be used as kind of a spiritual type thing, but not, you gotta be really careful, like, that you don't go overboard with it. It's like, for me, I have interesting experiences. Like, the first time I did shrooms, I could feel, or at least the perception of feeling light. Like, literally feeling waves on my skin. Like, feeling, since basically my whole sensory system got so refined when I was on it, it was almost overwhelming. Whereas in, like, sound, any sound that hit me, like, that came, like, for instance, I was with my friend and his mom coughed, and the cough traveled all the way through, like, the airwaves, like, the sound hit me, and I felt the vibration, like, on my skin. It was wild. But things like that, I mean, I've had a lot of experiences too. I've taken DMT as well, dimethyltryptamine, and that is insane.
I hear it's really fast. Is that true? Like, it comes on real quick, and then it goes away pretty fast?
Have you ever seen, like... This is why I think it's somewhat where the spiritual comes in, because you know where you see, like, images, particularly in the culture of, like, I guess you could say psychedelics, or even Eastern culture, particularly, where you see mandalas?
Mandalas?
Yeah, like a mandala, where it's... Okay. Well, when I took DMT, I saw a mandala and entered it.
What's a mandala, though? Hold on. What is a mandala? I don't know what that is. A mandala.
You need to Google it real quick. Just Google mandala.
I can't fucking do shit on my computer when I'm recording.
Okay, my bad.
There's a picture in this book. Keep talking, I'll find it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let him look for the picture and I'll keep talking.
You tell. You went to the mandala, and...
Yeah, you go...
And they had goat's milk. They had free goat's milk in there. Go ahead.
No, I mean... This is what, if you look up people that take DMT, everybody has this experience. That's why it's kind of weird. They have this experience where they enter some type of door, whether it be a mandala, a light, or something. Which, by the way, the mandala was full of colors, but in the middle it was white. And when you hit the white light, you break through, like you push through a door, and you feel like you're fucking split. You can't explain it, really. You're not, like... You feel like you're definitely not in the fucking world anymore. Like, and you're not. You can't see the world. You can't, like, see your room. Whatever you do, you can't see it anymore. Or wherever you're at, you can't see it anymore. And...
How long does it last for?
Oh, it's only, like, what, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe? But it feels like... Dude, it feels like 2 hours. because the concept of time just goes out the window. Like, you don't feel time normally at all. It's not.
Right.
You're
Well,
not
I've had
connected
that
to your normal,
experience.
like,
I had that experience on a bad trip on acid before too, where I was just bad tripping hard, and there was a clock I was looking at, and for at least an hour it kept going. 50, 51, 50. It would go back to 50, and then it would go 51. I could have sworn I was looking at it for like an hour, and it would never go past 51. But it must not have been for an hour, It must have been for like 20 seconds or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just think they're interesting. Like, if you really, yeah, that's a mandala.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, okay, I'm gonna tell. This is, if I can just abstract, I'll tell you what it really felt like. Like, almost, if I could describe it, I felt like I went quantum. Like, because everything is geometric inside of it. You're like literally, I feel like you're almost seeing the geometrics of the structure of this fucking matrix. Like, and it is something you can see.
Were you just like collapsing superpositions left and right?
Yes, dude. It's like you're zooming through fucking space, but it's like, it's insane. You're seeing things manifest and then go out of manifestation, and then it's just patterns. And
did you feel like you had some sort of revelatory experience from that, or was it just Well,
yes, because I had studied physics for a long time before this, and it just felt like I had been thinking a lot on consciousness before I even happened to take the drug, and to me, it just kind of. To me, there is a difference between if you have a dream or something, that place that I went to was a sensory, like, it felt real in the sense that it had a structure and a sensory, like, realness to it. Whereas, like, a dream, you kind of, like, know, it's, like, fuzzy and it doesn't quite feel real. This place literally had, like, a structure. Like, I felt like I was, like, really there, more so than I've ever felt in a dream. And even in my lucid dreams that I've had before. Felt like a real fucking place. That you're, like...
connected or something?
I mean, yeah, you leave your body. You're not in a body. You are just consciousness witnessing this new picture. Okay, if I could describe
virtual
it, here's what
reality.
happened. I hit the piece. I hit the DMT, right? Dude, if you could imagine, you're looking out your eyes right now and you're seeing a picture in front of you. The picture started shaking. Like, and then, dude, it felt like I changed channels. Like, I just switched channels. Like, so the picture in front of me, I stopped seeing the picture in front of me and I just saw a different picture. But it was a real picture. I feel like I just, like, fucking...
that's
and
really...
my ears were ringing, they were vibrating, or everything was vibration, it was frequencies. So, like, it was sound. Like, I could hear the sound. I think the universe constructs itself through, like, waves and vibration and everything that we know. Like, that's all light and sound. Like, in the Eastern cultures, they always say, like, Om or Om. That doesn't just come out of nowhere. Like, that's a sound that is inherent in the structure of the universe, and if you get quiet enough, you can hear it. Like, if your mind is truly, like, if you truly unplug from your sense perceptions of this reality, and you go deep enough, then you can hear that shit. You can hear the frequencies that are constructing everything.
It sounds like the hum of a fluorescent light. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or does it sound more like caca, caca?
Wow. Well, but there's different frequencies. Some of them are really high pitched. Some of them are really low. Like the.
Oh, see, Eric, you're misrepresenting. Eric, that sound that you're hearing is after the vibration sound. Is when you transform into a phoenix and bring back the hidden knowledge to the masses.
Oh,
that comes after.
Is that where that sound comes from? It's every time I switch. I thought it was some third party. I didn't even realize it was coming out of my own bird throat. my cognition shifts when I make the turn to Phoenix. Also, the fire. You may notice me on certain days be a little bit more ashen in my complexion. It's because I've just caught on fire. Anyway,
sometimes it leaves behind some residue. It leaves behind some residue, yeah, for sure.
Another drug that we could talk about a little bit is ecstasy, because one of my most purely pleasurable drug experiences was on ecstasy, but the after effects of it, the twitching and the fucking weirdness, I didn't like it at all. I was never willing to take it again after that. Once I got one really good, strong ecstasy trip, when I was rolling, as they say. And that's what they use nowadays. They refer to it as rolling, and they talk about ecstasy as being Molly. Anyway, it's the same thing, though. It's ecstasy. I've talked to several people about it. They think it's a different drug or something. No, it's the same thing. If you were confused about that, no need to be confused anymore. Go ahead and take that Molly. It's just ecstasy. Anyway, ecstasy is really, really feel-goody. Like, the most feel-goody drug I've ever done. But it did not make me want to do it again. It made me want to run away from it because I was all like fucking twitchy afterwards. So I don't recommend ecstasy.
I've never done ecstasy, but I've been around tons of people who've done it.
Acid, I think, as I indicated, is too dangerous for me, because it takes such a long ass time to wear off. You don't know how much you're taking, and you get a strong ass dose, and you're bad tripping for 16 hours or something. That fucking sucks ass. That's the last time I did acid. Yeah. That was my last acid trip. 16-hour bad trip.
I have this personal rule with myself that I will only take drugs that are synthesized in nature. Like I don't take man-made chemicals.
So as long as the chemist is standing in the forest, is it okay?
No, I'm saying if the thing is made by nature itself.
Oh, well, you said it was synthesized in nature.
Sorry, well, wrong terminology then.
Just
it was made by nature.
Right.
Would it be synthesized out of nature? Would that be the correct phrase? What would be the correct phrase?
You'd say it's not adulterated by human interference, I guess. But the point is, would you take cocaine because it comes from coca leaves?
No, because it has to be tampered with first. Like marijuana, marijuana, you can pull it off a fucking plant, smoke it.
What about DMT? What about DMT? Do you go to your DMT tree and pull off a DMT fruit and eat it?
DMT is made in your brain and every animal that lives. It's made naturally.
But that doesn't mean
when you die, your brain releases a shit ton of DMT.
Well, cocaine is made naturally too. It's just processed to be more
refined. How does that work exactly? Is there like a certain level? Because I know people can get like pretty close to death, right? Like, is there a certain?
I think that's a certain level where your body just does it. Or if you're talking about the releasing of dimethyltryptamine, but you don't have to die to do it. That's what you can meditate and do that. You can get your brain to release that chemical, just like your brain releases serotonin, dopamine, like creates all that stuff. There's a gland in your brain that produces the DMT, and
in your gland.
You need to trepanate. You have to trepanate, Zachary.
Well, I mean, I was asking, like, how does your body determine, like, if you're going to die? Because I know you can get close to death, and, like, how does your body know, like, 100%, like, oh, this guy's fucked? Like, I'm just gonna pour out DMT.
I mean, your body is pretty fucking intelligent. I mean, as far as, like, it's organized intelligence, if you get hurt, cells and everything rush to that spot, or your body is regulating everything all the time. Your breath, your blood pressure. I mean, you don't have to do anything. Your body is doing everything. So, like,
there's a very
I just feel like your body,
guy.
This system knows when the system is in danger.
It's a very somber little guy, okay? His name's Stuart. He's somber. He's about this big. He wears a dark suit and a hat. You only see him for the first time. He climbs up onto your chest. He comes out of your stomach. He's like, "Hey, Zach, it's me, Stuart. Eric told you about me a long time ago. Anyway, it's time for you to die. I've done the whole body check thing, and you're fucked, dude. You're dying. So, what I got here, I got a fat bowl of DMT for you. Smoke up, homie." And that's how it works when you die.
Oh yeah, the little elf pointing. See, that's where the myth of like the Christmas story comes from. It kind of looks like a little elf. He brings
Well, he
you
does
DMT.
in dim light. When you look at him closely, you realize he's just a very somber gentleman from the 1800s named Stuart.
Looks very Victorian.
Yeah, well, because back when people stopped believing in that kind of stuff, it got stuck where it was. And at that time, there was a massive trend of rage about believing that this guy Stewart was responsible for it. So that's what we're stuck with. Anyway, everybody gets Stewart, especially Chinese people. That's why they're always confused when they die. They can't understand a word he says. Anyway,
He only speaks in English. So anyone who's not like from Western culture is going to be really confused.
or they need to learn English before they die. Otherwise, they won't hear his important message.
If you want to do DMT when you die, you have to know English.
Well, he's got a secret he tells you, too. I'm really curious as to what it is. Here's what I think my secret's going to be. Eric, you are so handsome. Okay, any other topics about this? And then let's stop this video. Let's start a new one. Let's try to do a serious one. Let's have Zachary run this thing. I'm going to try to sit in the back and make as few jokes as possible. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant afternoon, and we'll be right back.